Today we'll be discussing JEE Advanced 2021 Mathematics Paper 2, and the first question is, we are given this ordered pair S1 which is I, j, k, where I, j, k each can take the value from 1 to 10. Now NR is total number of elements in the set SR. Now first, if we find number of elements in this set S1, we have 10 choices for I, we have 10 choices for J, and we have 10 choices for K. So total number of such ordered pairs will be simply 1000. So the value of N1 is 1000, and that's your option A. Now we look at S2. We are given that S2 is this ordered pair I, j such that I is greater than or equal to 1 but less than j plus 2, and it is less than or equal to 10, where I and j, they belong to this set from 1 to 10. Now if we take this first case, when the value of I is 1, then value of j, it will be greater than -1. So j can take the value from 1 to, now j plus 2 is less than or equal to 10, so its maximum value is 8. So total number of such cases will be simply 8. Now in the second case, if we take I as 2, then again j is greater than 0. So again j will take the value from 1 and maximum value is again 8. So again we have 8 choices. If the value of I is 3, now if I is 3, j is greater than 1. So now j will start from 2 and will end at 8. So now we have 7 choices. In the same way, if I is 4, it will start from 3 and it will go up to 8, and here we'll have 6 choices. And finally, when the value of I is 9, in that case j is greater than 7, so the only value possible for j is 8, and then we have one case. So number of elements in S2 will be 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to 8 and plus 8, which is n plus 1 by 2 plus 8. Now this is 36. 36 plus 8 is 44. So the value of N2 is 44. Now for this S3, we are given, we have 4 elements I, j, k and L such that I is less than j, it is less than k, and is less than L. And all these I, j, k, L, they belong to this set from 1 to 10. So what we'll do is, we can simply select any 4 numbers, and it can be done in 10C4 ways, and then we have to arrange them in ascending order. We can arrange them in ascending order in only one way. So basically this N3 will be nothing but, will be 10C4, and which is 10, 9, 8, 7, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now this is 8 and 3. So this value will be 210. So this option C is incorrect. Now we look at N4. Now in this N4 it says I, j, k and L, they are distinct elements. So here we just need to select 4 distinct elements. So for N4, we'll select 4 distinct elements in 10C4 ways. Now here we do not have any configuration. So these 4 distinct elements, they can be assigned to these 4 positions in factorial 4 ways. So this N4 will be 10C4, which is 210 into 24. So value of N4 will be 210 into 24. Now we need to find the value of N4 by 12. So the value of N4 divided by 12 will be 210 into 2, which is 420, and that's your option D. So the correct options are A, B and D. Now the second question is, consider triangle PQR having side lengths PQ and R. So we have this triangle PQR with side lengths P, Q and R. Then which of the following statements is or are true? First one is this cos P. Now we know that cosine rule says cos P is Q square plus R square minus P square upon 2QR. Now since Q and R, they are sides of a triangle, they are positive entries. So we can use arithmetic mean and geometric mean. So AM will be greater than or equal to its geometric mean, which is QR. So we can write Q square plus R square will be greater than or equal to 2QR. So we can write this cos P will be greater than or equal to 2QR minus P square upon 2QR. And the next one, we are given that q minus r upon p plus q cos p plus p minus r upon p plus q cos q. Now we can write this as q cos p plus p cos q minus r cos p minus r cos q upon p plus q. Now this is projection formula. Q cos p plus p cos q is nothing but r. So we can write this as r minus r cos p minus r cos q upon p plus q. Now we know that r cos p plus p cos r, it is equal to q. So we can write this r cos p as q minus p cos r. So it will be r minus q minus p cos r. In the same way we can write r cos q as p minus q cos r upon p plus q. R minus q minus p upon p plus q, and here if we take cos r common, p plus q will cancel, so it will be plus cos r. Now since sum of two sides of a triangle is greater than the third side, so p plus q will be greater than r, or r minus p minus q will be less than 0. So this is cos r minus some value. That means this expression will be actually less than or equal to cos r. Now if we look at this option C, we can write q plus r upon p as sin q plus sin r upon sin p. Now if we use AM and GM for sin q and sin r, then we can write sin q plus sin r will be greater than or equal to 2 under root sin q sin r, and if we divide it by sin p, then q plus r upon p, it is actually greater than or equal to 2 sin q sin r upon sin p. So that means this option C, it is incorrect. Now for this option D, we are given that p is less than q and p is less than r, then cos q is greater than p upon r and cos r is greater than p upon q. Now since p is less than q and p is less than r, this angle p, it is the smallest angle. So this is p, q and r, and this is the smallest angle of this triangle. It is possible to have a case where this angle p is very small, so that any one of this angle q or angle r is obtuse. So if we consider this case where this angle q is obtuse, in that case cos q will be less than 0, and this cos q, then it won't be greater than p upon r. So this fourth condition, it is not true in all general cases. So that means this option D is also incorrect. So the correct options are A and B. Now the question is, we are given this function f defined from minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2, and f0 is 1, and this integral from 0 to pi by 3 ft dt, it is 0. Now which of the following options is or are correct? Now what we'll do is, we'll assume a function gx, which is this integral from 0 to x ft dt minus sin 3t in the interval x belongs to 0 and pi by 3. Now if we find g0, it is 0 and sin 0 is also 0. So value of g0 is 0, and if we find g pi by 3, this integral from 0 to pi by 3, it is 0, and then sin pi will also be 0. So this function gx, it is continuous differentiable. G0, it is equal to g pi by 3. That means this function gx, it satisfies the condition for Rolle's theorem. Then from Rolle's theorem, we can say there exists at least one c in the interval 0 to pi by 3 such that g dash c is 0. Now we differentiate this, then we can write this is fc minus 3 cos 3c equals 0. So this equation fx equals 3 cos 3x will have at least one solution in 0 to pi by 3. That means this option A, it is correct. Now for this option B, again we'll assume a function and let this function be hx, which is this integral from 0 to x ft dt plus cos 3t plus 6x upon pi in the interval 0 to pi by 3. Now this function again is continuous and differentiable. Now if we find h0, h0 will be cos 0 is 1, and h pi by 3, this integral will be 0. Now cos pi is minus 1 and this value will be 2. So value of h pi by 3 is 1. So again this function hx, it satisfies all the three conditions of Rolle's theorem. So again from Rolle's theorem we can say there exists at least one c in the interval 0 to pi by 3 such that h dash c is 0. Now if we differentiate this function, we can write fc minus 3 sine 3c plus 6 upon pi will be 0. So this equation fx minus 3 sine 3x equals minus 6 upon pi has at least one solution in 0, 3, which means this option D is also correct. Now if we look at this option C, which is this limit x tends to 0, x into this integral from 0 to x ft dt upon 1 minus e to the power x square. Now what we'll do is we'll multiply and divide it with x square. Now we can rearrange this limit as limit x tends to 0, this integral from 0 to x ft dt upon, now x and x will cancel, so it will be this x into, now this is standard limit, e to the power x minus 1 upon x, it is 1, and here it is 1 minus e to the power x square, so this value will be simply minus 1. Now this is 0 upon 0 form. If we use L'Hopital's rule, we can write limit x tends to 0 fx upon 1 and this minus, which is equal to minus f0, and the value of f0 is 1. So value of this limit is minus 1, which means this option C is also correct. Now if we look at this option D, then for this option D we can write limit x tends to 0. Now this is sin x upon x and then this integral from 0 to x ft dt upon x. Now this is tan limit 1 and this is 0 upon 0 form. So again if we use L'Hopital's rule, it will be f0 and f0 is 1. So this value is actually 1 and not minus 1. So option D is incorrect. So the correct options are A, B and C. Now here the question is, for any real number alpha and beta, let y alpha beta be the solution of differential equation dy by dx plus alpha y equals x e to the power beta x. Now this is linear in y. Now if we find its integrating factor will be e to the power alpha x. So we can write this as y into e to the power alpha x and then this integral x into e to the power alpha plus beta x into dx. Now we'll consider two separate cases. Case 1, if the value of alpha plus beta is 0, because if alpha plus beta is 0, then in that case here we'll have just x dx. So if alpha plus beta is 0, then we'll have y into e to the power alpha x, it will be simply x square by 2 plus c. Now we are given that when x is 1, y is 1. So it will be e to the power alpha and it is equal to 1 by 2 plus c. So value of c is e to the power alpha minus 1 by 2. So we can write y as x square by 2 into e to the power minus alpha x plus e to the power alpha minus 1 by 2 into e to the power minus alpha x. Now for this first option, we have to put alpha as 1. Now if we put alpha as 1, then we'll get y equals x square by 2 e to the power minus x plus e minus 1 by 2 into e to the power minus x, and which is your option A. So the correct option is A. That means B is incorrect. Now we take the second case when alpha plus beta is unequal to 0. Now if alpha plus beta, it is unequal to 0. Now we can write this as y into e to the power alpha x. It will be this x into e to the power alpha plus beta x into dx. Now we have to solve it using by parts. So it will be y into e to the power alpha x, and here will be x e to the power alpha plus beta x upon alpha plus beta minus e to the power alpha plus beta x, and then x is 1, and if we integrate again, we'll get alpha plus beta 2 times. So it will be alpha plus beta whole square plus c. Now again, if we put x as 1, we'll get y is 1. So we'll get e to the power alpha, and here will be e to the power alpha plus beta upon alpha plus beta minus e to the power alpha plus beta upon alpha plus beta whole square and plus c. Now we can put the value of c, and we can write this as y into e to the power alpha x, and here we'll take e to the power alpha plus beta x upon alpha plus beta common. Here will be x minus 1 upon alpha plus beta, and then c, and c in this case is e to the power alpha minus e to the power alpha plus beta upon alpha plus beta into 1 minus 1 upon alpha plus beta. Now we'll take this e to the power alpha x. On right hand side, we can write y equals e to the power beta x upon alpha plus beta, and this is x minus 1 upon alpha plus beta plus e to the power alpha minus e to the power alpha plus beta upon alpha plus beta, and 1 minus 1 upon alpha plus beta e to the power minus alpha x. Now here we need e to the power x upon 2. So what we'll do is we'll put alpha as 1 and beta as 1. Now if we put alpha and beta as 1, we can write this as e to the power x upon 2. Now this is x minus 1 by 2, and here it will be e minus e square. Now this is 1 by 2, and this also is 1 by 2. So e square by 4 into e to the power minus x, which is nothing but your option C. So this is your option C. So option D is incorrect. So the correct options are A and C. Now here the questions, we are given this vector A, which is 2i plus 2j plus k, and we are also given B, which is I minus 2j plus 2k, and this vector C is B minus lambda A divided by 2. Now it says for some positive lambda, if OB cross OC, its magnitude is 9 by 2. Now if we find B cross C, then B cross C will be B cross B minus lambda A by 2. Now B cross B is 0, so it will be minus lambda by 2 B cross A. Now we take its magnitude, then mod of B cross C will be lambda by 2 into mod of B cross A, and it will be equal to 9 by 2. Now first we need to find B cross A. Now this B cross A will be this IJK. Now B is 1 minus 2, 2, and A is 2, 2, and 1. So if we expand it, we'll get minus 2, minus 4. So there will be minus 6i plus 3j plus 6k. So mod of B cross A will be 3 into 3, and there will be 9. So value of mod of B cross A is 9. So we can write 9 lambda by 2. It is equal to 9 by 2. That is value of lambda is 1. Now we have to find area of triangle OAB. area of triangle OAB is simply 1 by 2 into mod of A cross B. Now A cross B is 9. So this value will be simply 9 by 2. That means this option B, it is correct. Now since we have lambda here, now we can write this C as B minus A by 2, and B minus A by 2 will be minus I minus 4j plus k whole divided by 2. Now first we need to find projection of C on A. Now projection of C on A is C dot A cap. Now C dot A cap will be minus I minus 4j plus k upon 2 dot, and A cap is 2i plus 2j plus k whole divided by 3. Now this is minus 2 minus 8 minus 10 minus 10 plus 10. So you minus 9 minus 9 by 6. So this value it is minus 3 by 2. So projection of C on A is minus 3 by 2. That means this option A is also correct. Now this third one is find the area of triangle ABC. We'll find vector AB. Now vector AB is B minus A. So it will be minus I minus 4j and plus k, and we'll find this vector AC, and this vector AC will be minus 5 by 2i minus 4j and minus 1 by 2k. Now area of this triangle will be 1 by 2 into mod of this determinant, which is ijk, and will be minus 1 minus 4 1 minus 5 by 2 minus 4 and minus 1 by 2. Now if we solve this, we'll get this as 1 by 2 into mod of, now this is 2 plus 4, so it will be 6i minus 3j and minus 6k, which is 9. So this value will be 9 by 2. So area of triangle ABC will also be 9 by 2. That means this option C is also correct. Now we need to find acute angle between the diagonals of parallelogram with adjacent sides OA and OC. Now we know that diagonals are A plus C and A minus C. Now A plus C is 3 by 2i plus 3 by 2k, and A minus C will be 5 by 2i plus 4j plus 1 by 2k. Now if we take the dot product, we can find cos theta, and cos theta will be d1 dot d2 upon mod of d1 d2. Now d1 dot d2 is 15 by 4 plus 3 by 4 and divided by, now this is 3 by 2 root 2 into under root 90 by 4, which clearly suggests this theta, it is not equal to pi by 3. So that means this option D, it is incorrect. So the correct options are A, B and C. Now the question is, we are given a parabola y square equals 8x. So we have this parabola which is y square equals 8x. Now for this parabola, value of A is 2, and then we have directrix at x equals minus 2 and focus is at 2, 0. Now we have a point on this directrix, and which is minus 2, 4, and it is this point P. Now from this P, we'll draw two tangents. So it will be tangent at some place, and then we can join this. Suppose this is Q and this is Q dash. That is simple property that from any point on directrix, perpendicular tangents can be drawn to parabola. So this triangle PQQ dash will be a right angle triangle. So this option B, it is correct. And also we have the second property, that portion of tangent intercepted between the point of tangency and directrix, it always makes an angle 90 degrees at the focus. So that means this option A is also correct. And we also know that these perpendicular tangents, they always pass through focus of parabola. That is, this QQ dash will be a focal chord. So this option D is also correct, that F lies on line joining Q and Q dash. Now P is minus 2, 4 and F is 2, 0. So this PF will be this under root. Now this is 4 square plus 4 square, which is 32, which is simply 4 root 2. That means this option C is incorrect. So the correct options are A, C and D. Now the question is, consider the region XY such that X is greater than or equal to 0 and Y square is less than or equal to 4 minus X. So we have this region which lies inside of this parabola. Y square is less than 4 minus X and X is greater than or equal to 0. So that means this circle, it is in this region. Now we need to find this circle C having the largest radius which can be inscribed in this region. So let that circle be this circle C with center at h, 0 and radius equals r. Now equation of this circle will be x minus h square plus y square and it will be equal to r square. Now we'll find point of intersection of this circle with this parabola, which is y square equals 4 minus x to establish this condition of tangency. So we'll put y square as 4 minus x, so it will be x square plus h square minus 2xh plus 4 minus x, it is equal to r square, or we can write x square minus 2h plus 1x plus h square minus r square plus 4 equals 0. Now for largest circle, it has to be tangent to this parabola, and if it is tangent to this parabola, then it should have only one point of intersection, that is the value of d, it must be 0. Now if we put d equals 0, we'll get 4h square plus 4h plus 1 minus 4h square plus 4r square minus 16 will be equal to 0. Now this 4h square will cancel. So we'll get 4r square will be equal to 15 minus 4h, or r square will be 15 by 4 minus h. So this r will be maximum when this h is minimum. Now what is the smallest possible value of h? Now we can consider this h till the point where this circle is big enough to touch this y-axis. So in that case, this h and r will be equal. So for this largest circle, this h, it must be equal to r. Now if you put h as r, we get 4r square plus 4r will be equal to 15. Now we'll add 1. So we'll get 2r plus 1 whole square will be 16, or 2r plus 1 equals 4. Value of r is 3 by 2. So radius of largest circle will be simply 3 by 2. So answer to this first part is 3 by 2. So basically h and r, they are equal to 3 by 2. We can write equation of this circle as x minus 3 by 2 square plus y square will be equal to 3 by 2 whole square. So it will be x square plus y square minus 3x will be equal to 0. Now we need to find point of intersection with this parabola, which is y square equals 4 minus x. Now we put y square as 4 minus x will be x square minus 4x plus 4 equals to 0. That is x minus 2 whole square equals to 0. And since they are both tangent, we are getting only one value of x. So here the value of alpha is simply 2. So value of alpha in this case is 2. So answer to this question is 3 by 2 and 2. Now the question is, we are given two functions f1 and f2. Now this f1 is this integral from 0 to x, and then it will be t minus 1 to the power 1, t minus 2 square, t minus 3 cube up to t minus 21 to the power 21 into dt. Now we differentiate this function, we write f1 dash x as x minus 1 x minus 2 square, x minus 3 cube, and x minus 21 to the power 21. Now if we put it equals to 0, we'll get critical points as 1, 2, 3 and 21. But at even numbers, since the power is even, there is no change in sign. So at even integers, it'll be a point of inflection. So we'll have maxima and minima only at odd points. Now if we put these points 1, 3, 5 up to 21, rightmost is plus, so it'll be plus minus, and then if we put x as 0, and since we have 11 odd points, this value will be minus, so it'll be this minus plus. So we'll have 6 minimas and 5 maximas. Now number of minima is mi, so basically m1 is 6 and n1 is 5. Now we need to find the value of 2m1 plus 3n1 plus m1 n1. So there will be 12 plus 15 plus 30, which is 45 plus 12, and there will be 57. So this value is 57. Now we look at the second function, which is f2x, and it is given by 98 x minus 1 to the power 50 minus 600 x minus 1 to the power 49 plus 2450, where x is greater than 0. If we differentiate this function, we can write 98 into 50. So there will be 4900 into x minus 1 to the power 49 minus, now this is 4900 into 6, and there will be x minus 1 to the power 48. Now we'll take 4900 into x minus 1 to the power 48 common, and then we'll have x minus 7. Now here the critical points are 1 and 7. Now at 1, since it is an even power, there is no change of sign. So the only critical point at which this derivative changes sign is 7. Now rightmost is plus and this is minus. So here we just have point of local minima. So value of m2 is 1 and value of n2 is 0. Now we need to find the value of 6m2, 4n2, 8m2, n2. Now this is 6 plus 0 plus 0. So answer to this question is simply 6. Now in the questions we are given two functions g1x and g2x, and fx is sine square x. Now we need to find s1 and s2. Now s1 is this integral from pi by 8 to 3 pi by 8. Now this is fx, which is sine square x, into g1x, and g1x is simply 1. So it will be simply sine square x. Now we'll use the property. Now a plus b in this case is pi by 2. So we can write this s1 as this integral from pi by 8 to 3 pi by 8. Now sine pi by 2 minus x is cos. So it will be simply cos square x dx. Now we add these two. So we can write 2s1, and it will be this integral from pi by 8 to 3 pi by 8. And sine square x plus cos square x will be simply 1. So it will be 3 pi by 8 minus pi by 8. So that will be simply pi by 4. So value of s1 is pi by 8. Now we need to find the value of 16 s1 upon pi. So 16 s1 upon pi will be 16 upon pi into pi by 8, and which is nothing but 2. So answer to this question is 2. Now for s2, we need to find the value of 48 s2 upon pi square. Now we can write this s2 as this integral from pi by 8 to 3 pi by 8 f2x, which is mod of 4x minus pi into fx, which again is sine square x dx. Again we'll use the property f a plus b minus x. So we'll replace x with pi by 2 minus x. So this s2 will be this integral from pi by 8 to 3 pi by 8, and then here will be 4 pi by 2 minus x minus pi, and then sine square x will be cos square x. So we can write this s2 as this integral from pi by 8 to 3 pi by 8, and then here will be 2 pi minus pi. So there'll be pi minus 4x. And since it is a mod sign, we can write this as mod of 4x minus pi cos square x dx. Now, if we add these two, we can write 2s2. It will be this integral from pi by 8 to 3 pi by 8. And then sin square x plus cos square x will be 1. And it will be this mod of 4x minus pi into dx. Now, if we look at the graph of this function, its critical point is pi by 4 and it is symmetric about pi by 8 and 3 pi by 8. So what we'll do is, rather than integrating it from pi by 8 to 3 pi by 8, we'll integrate it from pi by 8 to pi by 4 and then multiply it with 2. So we can actually write 2s to s 2 times this integral from pi by 8 to pi by 4. Now in this interval, this value will be negative. So it will be pi minus 4x dx. Now this 2 and 2 will cancel. So we can write this s to s pi minus 4x whole square upon 2 and then minus 4. So it will be this minus 8 from pi by 8 to pi by 4. Now if we put x as pi by 4, it will be 0 and then minus minus plus, and we put x as pi by 8, it will be pi minus pi by 2. So there will be pi by 2 square and it should be pi square by 32. So value of S2 is pi square by 32. Now we need to find the value of 48 S2 upon pi square. So the value of 48 upon pi square S2 will be 48 upon pi square into pi square by 32. So this is 3 and this is 2. So this value, it is equal to 3 by 2. So the value of 48 S2 upon pi square is 3 by 2, and that is the answer to this question. Now the question is, we are given a GP in which AN is 1 upon 2 to the power of n minus 1, S0 is 0, and Sn is sum of first n terms. So this Sn is A 1 minus r to the power n upon 1 by 2. So it will be 2 into 1 minus 1 upon 2 to the power n. Now it says, let Cn denote circle with centers Sn minus 1 and radius An. Now consider M with r equals 1025 upon 513. So we have this larger circle with center at origin and radius equals 1025 upon 513. Now here we have these circles C1, C2, C3. So we need to find the maximum possible number of circles Cn which can be inscribed in this larger circle. Now suppose maximum circle is that circle Cn. Now if Cn lies inside this larger circle, then distance of its center from origin, which is Sn minus 1, and plus its radius, which is An, it must be less than or equal to this value r. Now Sn minus 1 will be 2 into 1 minus 1 upon 2 to the power of n minus 1, and this value, it is 1 upon 2 to the power of n minus 1, and will be less than or equal to 1025 upon 513. Now we simplify this. This is 2 minus 1 upon 2 to the power of n minus 1 will be less than or equal to 1025 upon 513, or 1 upon 2 to the power of n minus 1 will be greater than or equal to, now this is 513 into 2, and there will be 1026. 1026 minus 1025 will be 1 upon 513. Now from here we can write 2 to the power n minus 1, it must be less than or equal to 513. Now we know that 2 to the power 9 is 512. So this n minus 1, it should be less than or equal to 9. That is, value of n is less than or equal to 10. So maximum number of such circles is simply 10. So value of k is 10. Now from these k circles, we have to find L, which is maximum number of possible circles which do not intersect. If there are 10 circles, so if we select alternate circles, they won't intersect. So the maximum value of L will be simply 5. So value of k is 10 and value of L is 5. Now if we look at this option D, this is 3k, which is 30, and plus 10, which is 40. So the correct option is this option D. Now for the second question, we have this m with radius 2 to the power 199 minus 1 root 2 upon 2 to the power 198, and number of all those circles Dn that are inside M. Now we have this circle M, and these circles, now they lie along this line x equals y. So in this case, if you have to find the maximum value of n, then this distance, which is root 2 s n minus 1 plus radius of the circle, which is an, it must be less than or equal to 2 to the power 199 minus 1 into root 2 upon 2 to the power of 198. Now this is root 2. Now Sn minus 1 is 2 into 1 minus 1 upon 2 to the power of n minus 1 plus 1 upon 2 to the power of n minus 1 will be less than equal to 2 to the power of 199 minus 1 root 2 upon 2 to the power of 198. Now we can simplify this as 2 root 2 and minus 2 root 2 minus 1 1 upon 2 to the power of n minus 1 will be less than equal to 2 to the power 199 minus 1 upon 2 to the power 198 into root 2. Now we'll divide everything with root 2. So we'll get 2 minus, and this is 2 minus 1 by root 2, 1 upon 2 to the power of n minus 1 will be less than or equal to 2 to the power 199 minus 1 upon 2 to the power of 198. Now we'll rearrange it a bit. We can write 2 minus 1 upon root 2, 1 upon 2 to the power of n minus 1 will be greater than or equal to 2 minus 2 to the power of 199 minus 1 upon 2 to the power of 198. Now 2 to the power 199 will cancel. So it will be simply 1 upon 2 to the power of 198. So from here we'll get this condition that 2 minus 1 by root 2 into 2 to the power of 198, it will be greater than or equal to 2 to the power of n minus 1. Now this value, it is less than 2. That means this n minus 1, it must be less than or equal to 198. So this n, it is less than or equal to 199. So the maximum value of n is 199. So number of all those circles which are inside M is 199, and that's your option B. Now here the question is, we are given some functions psi1x, psi2x, fx and gx, and then we have to find which of the following statement is correct. Now for this first statement, we need to find fx and gx. Now before that, we'll work out this gx a bit. So this gx, it is defined as this integral from 0 to x square under root t e to the power minus t dt when x is greater than 0. Now we'll take a substitution. We'll let t as z square. Then we can write this gx. Now this lower limit is 0 and upper limit will be this x. Now this is z e to the power minus z square, and here will be 2z dz. So we can write this as 2 times this integral from 0 to x z square e to the power minus z square into dz. And we know that in definite integral, variable doesn't matter. So we can write this as this integral from 2 to x e to the power minus t square dt. Now this fx is this integral from minus x to plus x, and it is an even function. So if it is an even function, so we can write this as 2 times, then from 0 to x, now this mod t will be simply t, so it will be t minus t square e to the power minus t square dt. Now we'll add these two functions. Now if we add gx and fx, we can write gx plus fx. Now this 2t square will cancel. So we'll get this as this integral from 0 to x 2t e to the power minus t square dt. Now here we'll take t square as z. 2t dt will be dz. So it will be e to the power minus t square upon minus 1 and then from 0 to x. So it will be simply 1 minus e to the power minus x square. Now we need to find the value of f under root log 3 plus g under root log 3. So this g root log 3 plus f root log 3 will be 1 minus e to the power minus. Now this is log 3. Minus log 3 is 1 by 3. So it is 1 minus 1 by 3 and 1 minus 1 by 3 will be 2 by 3. So this option A, it is incorrect. Now for this option B, it says there exists alpha such that phi1x equals 1 plus alpha x. Now phi1x is e to the power minus x plus x and it will be equal to 1 plus alpha x, or e to the power minus x will be 1 plus alpha minus 1 into x. Now if we draw the graph of e to the power minus x, it will be this function and here this value is 1, and since here alpha is greater than 1, it will be this straight line which is increasing. So these two functions, they will never intersect when the value of x is greater than 1. So this option B, it is incorrect. Now for this option 3, let us consider this function which is psi 2x and it is x square minus 2x minus 2 e to the power minus x plus 2 in the interval 0 to x. Now this is continuous and differentiable. So if we use LMDT's theorem, then there exists at least one beta in the interval 0 comma x such that psi dash 2 beta will be psi 2x minus psi 2 0 upon x minus 0. Now if we differentiate this function, we'll get this as 2 beta minus 2 and plus 2 e to the power minus beta, and here it will be this psi 2x and psi 2 0 is 0. Now we can write this psi 2x as 2 into beta plus e to the power minus beta minus 2. Now this is nothing but this is psi 1 beta. So it will be 2 times psi 1 beta minus 1. That means this statement C is correct. So this option C, it is correct. And next it says monotonicity of this function f. Now we differentiate this function, we can write f dash x as 2 x minus x square e to the power minus x square. So we'll get 0 and 1. So this is minus, plus and minus. Now in between 0 and 3 by 2, it is increasing and then decreasing. So that means this option D is also incorrect. So the correct option is this option C. Now for the same question, the second part is psi 1x is less than or equal to 1. Now if we look at psi 1x is e to the power minus x plus x when x is greater than or equal to 0. Then psi 1 dash x will be 1 minus e to the power minus x and will be greater than 0. So this psi x will be an increasing function. So if x is greater than or equal to 0, then psi 1 x will be greater than or equal to psi 1 0. Now psi 1 0 is 1. So this psi 1 dash x, it is always greater than or equal to 1. That means this option A, it is incorrect. Now if we look at psi 2x, psi 2x is x square minus 2x minus 2 e to the power minus x plus 2. Now if we differentiate this function, we can write psi 2 dash x as 2 x minus 1 and plus 2 e to the power minus x. Now when x is greater than 1, it is always greater than 0. Now when x lies between 0 and 1, if we expand it, we can write 2x minus 1 plus 1 minus x plus x square upon factorial 2. Now this 1 and x will cancel, and since we have this positive value, so it will always be greater than 0. So this psi dash x, it is greater than 0 for all x greater than 0. So this psi to x, it is also an strictly increasing function. So if x is greater than or equal to 0, then psi to x is also greater than or equal to psi to 0, and psi to 0 is 0. So this is always greater than or equal to 0. So that means this option B is also incorrect. Now, if we look at this function fx, this function fx is 2 times this integral from 0 to x t minus t square e to the power minus t square dt. Now we can write this as integral from 0 to x 2t e to the power minus t square dt, and then minus 2 times this integral from 0 to x t square and e to the power minus t square dt. Now if we take t square as z, we'll get this as minus e to the power minus z, which is 1 minus e to the power minus x square, and then here we'll have this minus 2, and we can write this as this integral from 0 to x, and this is t square, and if we expand this e to the power function, so it will be 1 minus t square plus t to the power 4 dt. So it will be 1 minus e to the power minus x square. Now this is minus 2 by 3 x cube plus 2 by 5 x to the power 4, and then here we have this minus sign, positive remainder. So this function will always be less than or equal to 1 minus e to the power minus x square minus 2 by 3 x cube plus 2 by 5 x to the power 4. That means this option C is also incorrect. Now if we look at this option D, and this option D is this integral gx, which is this integral from 0 to x square under root t e to the power minus t dt. Now we can write this as this integral from 0 to x square. This is under root t, and this is 1 minus t plus t square upon 2 minus t cube upon 6 up to dt. So it will be this integral from 0 to x square, and this is t to the power 1 by 2 minus t to the power 3 by 2 plus t to the power 5 by 2 upon 2, and then minus t to the power 7 by 2 upon 6, and so on dt. Now we integrate this, we'll get t to the power 3 by 2, and this is 2 by 3 minus this is t to the power 5 by 2 and 2 by 5 plus 2 by 7 t to the power 7 by 2, and so on, and this value from 0 to x square. So we'll get this value as 2 by 3 x cube minus 2 by 5 x to the power 5 plus, now here we have this 2, so this 2 and 2 will cancel, so we'll get this as 1 by 7 x to the power 7, and then we have this minus sign, so it will be minus in some value. So that means it will be less than or equal to 2 by 3 x cube minus 2 by 5 x to the power 5 and plus 1 by 7 x to the power 7. So the correct option is this option D. Now this is very simple question. A number is chosen at random from this set 1, 2, 3 up to 2000. Let P be probability that chosen number is a multiple of 3 or a multiple of 7. So this probability will be probability that it is divisible by 3 plus probability that it is divisible by 7 minus probability that it is divisible by 21. So this probability will be, now 2000 divided by 3, it will be 666 point something. So there will be 666 upon 2000. Now 2000 divided by 7, there will be 285 point something. So it will be 285 upon 2000 minus 2000 divided by 21. There will be 95 point something, and there will be this 2000, and this value, it will be 856 upon 2000. Now we need to find the value of 500p. So the value of 500p will be 856, and here will be this 4. So this is 214. So answer to this question is 214. Now here the question is, let E be this ellipse which is given by x square by 16 plus y square by 9 equals 1. Then it says three distinct points P, Q and Q dash are on this ellipse. So we have this P, Q and Q dash. Let M be midpoint of PQ. So we have M which is midpoint of PQ, and we have, suppose this, let us say M dash which is midpoint of PQ dash. Now we need to find maximum possible value of distance between M, M dash. Now since M is midpoint of PQ and M dash is midpoint of PQ dash, from Thales theorem we know that this M, M dash will be parallel to QQ dash, and this M, M dash will be 1 by 2 into QQ dash. So in order to find maximum possible value of M, M dash, we have to find maximum possible value of QQ dash. Now QQ dash is nothing but a chord of this ellipse. Now we know that the maximum possible chord of an ellipse is this major axis. So once we have any point P and we take QQ dash as major axis, in that case this M, M dash will be maximum. So maximum value of M, M dash will be simply 1 by 2 and then length of major axis. The length of major axis is simply 2a. So this value is a and the value of a here is 4. So answer to this question is simply 4. And finally we have this question. We need to find this integral from 0 to 10 greatest integral function of under root 10x upon x plus 1 dx. Now let us take this as a function y which is under root of 10x upon x plus 1. Now in order to solve this integral, what we'll do is we'll draw the graph of this function and we'll draw it using transformation of greatest integral function. Before that, I'll differentiate this function. We'll find y dash. So it'll be 1 by 2 under root of 10x upon x plus 1 into 10, and here will be 1 upon x plus 1 whole square. So it will be greater than 0. So this function, it is strictly increasing function. So between 0 to 10, this function will be an increasing function. Now at 0, this value will be 0, and at 10, this value will be 10 by under root 11, and that is 3 point something. So if we draw this graph, so it will be some increasing function from 0 to 10. Now at 10, this value is 3 point something. Now we know for transformation of greatest integral function of x, we have to draw horizontal lines at integer points. So we have integer point at 1, at 2 and integer point at 3. So this is 1, 2 and 3. Now first we'll find these point of intersections. Now this point is when the value of this function is 1. So if we take this as 1, we'll get 10x upon x plus 1 will be equal to 1. So value of x here is 1 by 9. So this point is 1 by 9. Now for this we'll put under root 10x upon x plus 1 equals to, now we square it, we'll get 10x equals 4x plus 4, or the value of x is 2 by 3. So this point will be 2 by 3, and then if we put it equals to 3, we'll get 10x upon x plus 1 will be 9. So we'll get value of x as 9. So this point will be 9. Now we know that in between any two lines, this greatest integral function, it comes to this bottom line. So here will be this 0. Here will be this value 1. Here it will take the value 2. And in between 9 and 10, it will take the value 3. Now this integral, it is nothing but it is this area. So value of this integral will be 1 into 2 by 3 minus 1 by 9 plus 2 into 9 minus 2 by 3 and plus 3 into 10 minus 9, which is 1, and this is 5 by 9 plus 18 minus 12 by 9 plus 3, 182 by 9. Now we need to find the value of 9i. The value of 9i is 182. So answer to this question is 182. Hello and welcome to the world of mathematics. I present my website www.mathsmerizing.com and my YouTube channel Mathsmerizing for your kind perusal. If you like them and are inspired by the possibilities, then consider subscribing and sharing it with someone you know who might benefit from it. Thank you.